What's up, everybody? You know who I am. I'm Jack Slater, aka the Comic Outlaw. Yeah, check us out on YouTube. And right now we're doing She Hulk. Yeah, the Sensational She Hulk, number 8. And she's meeting Nick St. Christopher. Yes, there's a serial killer in town, and apparently this little man in a red suit and a big fluffy beard is the world's greatest detective. I'm with Jen on this one. You kidding, right? But yes, that is her guest star as she drives back in her sweet, sweet Dodge that she just got. Ooh wee, that space mission was so worth it in order to get this sweet machine. Anyway, she's piling back to Earth after she defeated this white teddy bear looking guy named Zimu, who had weird plans of impregnating women and taking women's bodies over and such. Yeah, interesting issue so far. Very good, actually. Anyway, she's heading back from space in her sweet machine, just testing it out, seeing how fast it goes, And she's so surprised at how fast it is. She feels like her stomach's left back at the station, if you know what I'm saying. And she comes crashing into the atmosphere and she says, "Stop," panicking. And the car just stops. You gotta love this machine. Dang. Emerald green, too. Ah, what a sweet machine. I'm talking about both her and the car. Anyway, she gets some mail. And this is where we get a little closures here about her dad from the previous issues, about Zapper being married, you know. But, of course, she's just picking up letters from the writer, the inker, and stuff like that. And this just kind of closes the loops for the original story. I guess her and Zapper has some kind of falling out. Of course, they don't really dwell on that too long since she has a meeting. And, she mentions her little guest spot in the Avengers, and now she's back to this. And she also mentions that she's able to change like this due to the author, which she really does love, just poof, and then she kind of sort of teleports from one panel to the other. And of course, this guy's a serial killer, but of course they have no evidence, so he's just schmoozing there, hitting on She-Hulk and such. And the guy brings up that they only have so much time before her case falls apart. She has to get evidence. She has to get it quickly. Otherwise, this guy's going to walk. Meanwhile, She-Hulk is relaxing on the beach. All of a sudden, a ring pops up with her looking oh so fine. Anyways, the ring's attached to a chain. She pulls on the chain. Yes, and she follows the thread, for the chain is mighty long. Wondering what it is, wondering what's going on. She follows it, and there's Hercules. Yup, Hercules, ready to get it on. Yeah, man. She has a thing for the Prince of Power, doesn't she? She wants to give him that golden hour. Anyways, that's neither here or there right now with her dreams, her naughty dreams, I might add. That does come into play later. She gets a call from a man who claims to be Nick St. Christopher, detective, and that he has evidence that could help her out. She meets him for breakfast, and all of a sudden something comes up right behind her booty. And this is where the man introduces himself. Is Nick St. Christopher, and he has an ability to tell when someone's being naughty or being nice. I bet this sounds so familiar, doesn't it? Anyways, they go off, and she needs a little time to think about it. So she says that she needs a panel or two. But meanwhile, this guy in the shadows is saying that he's invested a lot of money and that he will not be denied. He wants results. He wants She-Hulk. And we'll find out later, I guess, who this man is. Anyways, her and Saint Nick there is he kind of finds an apartment. And he climbs up the chimney and tells her all you need to do is nod. Boom. She falls straight down the chimney. And so does he. And it comes to find out that this is his apartment where he was staying at. And nobody could find out where he lived or anything like that. But since they did this without a warrant, she can't use this as evidence. So she has to call her people and basically make back warrants, kind of call the police, and most importantly, get out of the house. Otherwise, they'll be tampering with evidence. But good old Saint Nick doesn't care. He pops open a little bubbly, saying they're going to be there a while. They might as well get to know each other. She says she's not into older men, but he also mentions, well, what's Hercules? A high school student with a big smile on his face. Anyways, he slips her a little present, she's saying that they gotta go before the case is destroyed. And he tells her to basically twitch her nose, nod, and boof, she's up the chimney again. You gotta admit, that's a pretty useful power. And it explains a whole lot about good old Saint Nick, doesn't it? Anyways, they are kind of having trouble getting the warrant because they don't know the person's name that it's in. They haven't been able to find, and they only have so much time to get this done. So the clock is still ticking. She needs something else. She needs a way into the apartment. And this is where they bring up the idea that St. Nick might be the killer. But she's discussing this. St. Nick pops up and says that they have got to go. But she's due in court very, very soon. But St. Nick exists. And poof, they teleport to Australia. And there they meet the killer's girlfriend. And the place is rented under her name. And she'd be willing to come back with her and St. Nick and testify to that and some of the things that she saw. So poof, yes, they got him. And so this guy's denied bail. She's very happy with herself, since she basically just won the case. And now she's going to get some answers and kind of tie up the other story that's going on. Good old Saint Nick. Who is he and why? And you pretty much figured out that he's kind of the representation of Santa. He kind of lays his head on her breast, kind of hits on her a little bit more. And then she says, "Aren't you married?" And then he says, "Oh, no, that's just a fair." And all of a sudden, Mrs. Claus pops out of nowhere, tapping her foot. Yup, it's time for good old Saint Nick to get back to the North Pole, if you know what I'm saying. And I bet you that pole's pretty cold. Anyways, she takes him away. She begins to wrap things up, wondering what the next issue is going to hold for her and what exactly is going to go on. Is she's told there's reindeer droppings in her office, and now she has to deal with that. So what will happen the next time? We'll find out, and I'll catch you on the flip side. Yeah.